Hello, and thank you for joining us for session 0 of Heaven on High, a City of Mist actual play on the happyjacksrpg network. To find all the sessions of this game, please visit happyjacks.org/heavenonhigh, and to find all of the shows on the Happyjacks network, visit happyjacks.org. My name is Lloyd, he, they pronouns, and I will be the GM for the game of today. Content warning, this is the session 0. As such, there may be some content in here that I would have to say viewer discretion is advised. We're not planning on going any further or deeper, but characters will be getting created and certain words will be said. Please, if you are of any kind of discontent position, please be aware of it while you're continuing. That aside, I have 4 fantastic people playing with me, and we'll be using the lines and veils and the X card, N card, and raised hand cards for our game. Starting off which, I'd like them to all introduce themselves. Let's go from the top and work our way down. Leona?
Oh, that's me. Hello, my name is Leona. My pronouns are she, her. What else did you ask me to say?
Pronouns, and I mean, that's about it, really. Just say
That's
hello.
Hi.
We haven't made your character yet,
That's
so.
true. Hi, I'm Leona, she, her. Excited to be here.
Next up is Mo.
Yo ho, my name is Mo, he, him. Happy to be here. Looking forward to getting high on heaven. No, heaven on high.
Same difference. Third one coming on down is Joe.
I was gonna do a whole yo ho, I'm Joe, but I guess that's out now. Hi, I'm just Joe now. Pronouns he, him. I am so looking forward to this game. I can't wait to get into it. Let's do this.
And finally, on Clutch, there is Rose.
Yo ho, my name is Rose, because we got to keep it on theme. I'm the unexpected and the unprepared. How are y'all doing tonight? She, her pronouns.
Exhausted. But what matters is that we're all here and it's time for us to start. So let's jump right into it. This is session 0 of City of Mist. City of Mist is, for all intents and purposes, a super-powered noir/mystery/whatever you want game, and it takes place in the city. For our session 0, we'll be doing 3 things. 1, we'll be building the city itself from ideas that we have and what we want to play with. 2, we'll be building the crew for, aka, what our purpose as a group is going to be and what our individual characters will also be. And finally, we'll do a day in the life where we'll go through and do short little snippets of everyone's normal daily routine. Think of it like when you're watching an ensemble TV show, when the camera pans to each and every single different character to see what it is that they're doing and having fun with and laughing about, so we know what's up, and then come back to that. The first thing I'm going to ask before we continue is that everyone logs into the Roll20 for me, which I believe everyone has done except for Rose, because I haven't given you the link, which makes perfect reason why you have not.
Yep, it does make it difficult. I can just start typing things in and hope for the best.
I appreciate that, but please don't. I have sent
I'm going to end up in a lot of campaigns.
I've sent the link to the Zoom chat. The reason why I've done this is because that's also where we have our X card, our N card, and our hand card, which you can enable by enabling macros in a macro quick bar at the top right of your screen. The X card is very clearly the card you play when you want something to stop. The N card is we're getting close to something that make you uncomfortable, so could we please run it back? And the raised hand card is specifically for you want to say something, but you don't want to interrupt other people, and you'd like me to jump to you when I get a chance. And that's what those 3 things are there for. All right, I think that's all the basic preparation we can do. Let's jump right into it. First things first, we have the city. So, we all have different ideas of what the city is, but for all intents and purposes, the city can be anything and anywhere we want. I had originally put a chart out that detailed exactly what the city is and what you could do in the city and what cities are available. So I'm going to go through the list one more time, just so everyone has an idea of it, so we're all on the same boat. We can have like a true noir city. So we've got like raincoats and fedoras and like Casablanca looking kind of thing. We can do neo noir, so it's 80s-tastic, but like neon lights everywhere. But we can also make it tech noir, where it's 80s-tastic, but it's Blade Runner-y. So there's neo noir and then there's tech noir. So either go blue velvet or you go Escape from New York / Blade Runner. Either one works. We could do present day, which is just, nowadays, but
Post-apocalyptic noir.
I said yes, that's also technically today. So
Yes,
you're
that's what I
probably
was saying.
right.
Today falls
Today.
under.
We could do generic comic city, so everything is bigger, larger than life. Everyone has powers. Life is great. Woo! We could do a tapestry where we mishmash different parts of a city to form one city. Or we could be really boring and go for a realistic city, which we're not going to do because no one wants that.
I live in a realistic city. Don't recommend it.
Hey, those are the ideas of the cities that we had. Now, I put a vote out to the players to see what they thought. And people were very keen on tech noir and neo noir. They were thinking maybe more 80s era timeline or 90s, essentially, and not all techie, so slightly like more Blade Runner-y 80s looking. But I'm leaving it open to the crowd. What do you feel like you feel comfortable with? Is there any ideas they want to throw out there?
No cell phones.
Okay, that's a start. No cell phones. I'm gonna write that down right now. No cell phones in the setting. Doesn't matter where we are. No cell phones.
My character was a cell phone, so should.
Well, making you character. If you want to be a cell phone, that works. We
The
can
world's
play as
first
you as
cell
a
phone with no one to call.
Like, if you
Oh
want to
my
be,
god, that is
when
my
we
life.
get to that,
What a
when we get-
tragic character.
Let me also explain what the thing is about. So you'll be playing things called rifts. To summarize it up, the city of Mist is a city where mists obfuscate what people see. Think of it like the masquerade or whatever nonsense you want to come with, where people don't see what's actually out there, or maybe people who do see it are seeing a different world than other people are. But you've been awakened to see this different world. And when you're awakened, you embody the mythos. And that mythos has made you into something a little bit different, a bit more special than other people. And whatever your mythos are, they also will be essentially the theme of the city as well. So if you have an idea of what kind of mythos you're thinking of going for, your mythos, I was gonna put this in later on, but to summarize it up, your mythos can be like, oh, I'm like Thor, or I'm like Amaterasu, or I'm like Kali, or I'm like Ra, or you could be like, I'm the embodiment of comic books, or I'm a cell phone, or I am a really popular movie people liked in the 80s. The mythos entirely up to you, but it helps shape the city. So if you have an idea of a mythos, you might want to try and think about what you want the city to look like. And we can change this as we're going along, as you people have a better idea of what your characters should be. Don't all talk at once, please. Just take your time. Just relax. Just.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh my god. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, Mo?
Muted.
You're muted.
I think I want to. I think I want to go the mythos of Frankenstein.
Ooh. So Frankenstein is a very interesting mythos
And
because that can influence the city. Go on, Karen.
Not Frankenstein, but Frankenstein's creature.
So I gotta ask a quick question. Is it what type of Frankenstein's creature are we going with? Are we going with nuts and bolts?
Nope.
Are we going with just body modification?
Lots of body modification.
Electronic, mechanical, bio?
Mechanical.
Okay. Because that brings us closer to that like 80s noir style looking for the city. So you could go like mechanical, as in like old school mechanical, like full on, like straight up, or you could go for I can't really want to say this, Shadowrun looking mechanical.
Yes.
Because that would influence. Because then I have an idea of what the tech of the city is supposed to look like. You see?
Yeah, I'm not committing that far.
Take your time.
Some
No need to rush.
people think I have awesome tattoos, and other people think I'm absolutely inappropriate.
Ooh, the horror of Frankenstein's monster too. I didn't think of that. I'll come back to you in a minute when we get to the closer bit. We're still on the city. And also, what would help is if we came as a group to think about what theme our group should be. Some example themes for people, if you want some idea, you could be casual detectives. Okay, just people just solving crimes and being gay. Company men, aka white collar professionals, reverse law. You could be conspiracy busters, so like tech experts, alien believers, journalists, blah blah. You could be dabblers, where you just like you're doing a weekend, you're like Murder She Wrote kind of style, like dabbling in the wildness and still having a normal life as you do. You could have an event that changed you and changed the city. You could also just be old friends who are a gang and just hanging out. You could be secret identities with masks on. You could be a version of modern gods that have now like re-embodied the world, kind of like the wicked and divine. You could be the order, aka you're like an organization and you work together, you kick some butt, you get to this. Or you could just be pros, aka people who are just like absolute experts at what they do, whether it's larceny or monster hunting or doing something like inappropriate or very appropriate. Just experts, you're pros. There's like multiple options. Do any of these sound like they're pulling to you?
I like conspiracy hunters, but I'm kind of open.
I could have liked the idea.
Event.
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I like the event because that leaves us a lot of room to interpret how did that event shape us individually.
I think that one is definitely my favorite of the options too. Yeah.
The event is really cool. I also really like the idea of being kind of down to earth people who are dealing with stuff bigger and beyond them. I think that's a really important aspect of noir. Your classic noir protagonist usually doesn't see the big picture and is uncovering just a larger and larger problem or conspiracy as they go.
Yeah.
We could combine all three. So bear with me. You could have been, most of you, not all of you, a good portion could have been normal people. An event happened in the city that awoke a whole bunch of people, and they've just woken up to a new world. And some of you are like, ooh, what's this? Some of you are like, don't tell me of the scriptures I was born when it was written. So you could go both ways with it if you wanted, and it will probably fit some or all of your ideas. The only difference is we would need to know what the event was, or at least a similar idea of it. Now, and just for example, it could be as simple as one day you woke up and the entire city was covered in mist and you can't leave. And you're like, Danny? It could be some kind of strike happened, like between all of you, like somewhere, somehow something hit you and changed you. It could be the sky changed color and you all saw a new color that you weren't used to. And now that you've seen a new color, you can't unsee it. It could be you didn't sleep and now you can't sleep. You're constantly awake and that's all you are seeing. There are multiple things you can pull in. Think about what your character's backgrounds are and what you have and what you think would be a really cool, like, grasp to pull people in to give you an event. And that would both hopefully apply for all four of you. I'm hoping to make everyone happy. I don't know. We're trying our best here.
I like the idea that the world's changed.
So the entire world's changed. Oh.
Or at least the city.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that we were regular people and then one day everything was different. And the question is what came before real and this is the dream? Are we finally waking up? Are we, crazy, or is the world crazy? And forgive me if that's a word people don't like. I will adjust as needed.
I love both those ideas. I'm going to hold off on what I'm going to say until after I've heard everyone directly. I don't know if I can pull off is what was before real or not.
Mm-hmm.
I will try if that's what we're going for, but I don't know if I can pull that off. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, please, I got this, pro GM. But if I can, I will go for it. What about you two?
I was kind of playing with the idea of maybe we all had the same, like all of us player characters had the same nightmare and we saw each other. And like that could be like the event is like, why do I keep dreaming about these people? And then maybe we start seeing each other in the city and like, wait a minute.
I know you.
Is it like,
That's
is that
fun.
an
I
interesting
like that.
trope? Yeah, because I like it again because it gives us a lot of room to interpret, well, what did I see in my piece of the nightmare? Like, and I saw, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
May I I'm sorry, before I do it, Leona, do you have an idea?
I'm kind of keen on everything that's been said so far. I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay. I'm gonna try and combine the three ideas into one fairly fell swoop. What if the thing that's changed everyone with the idea of what's real and what's not is that everyone has stopped dreaming but you?
Ooh.
Making us the dreamers. I like it.
Essentially, you don't know why, but you can dream, and other like all over the city, people report that have come in reporting they can't dream and they don't know why. But you can dream. And now the question is it real? Are you dreaming constantly? Is life happening here? And in your dreams, you're interpreting it. Also, what it means is you are connected by the fact that you can dream. And we can make it so only dreamers are awakened.
Oh my God, I love that double entendre.
I
That's
love
so
it.
cool. Love that. That's really cool.
I'm just quickly making some notes.
That's so
Don't
cool.
mind me.
That's awesome.
That's because that combines the whole world has changed, or the whole city has changed. We have, is the everything real, and everyone is dreaming, and only the dreamers are awakened, and that makes you the dreamers, which is a good reason. And you're like, well, I see your dreams are connected, but of course it's dreams. So like, how do you interpret it, and what's happening? And also it means we have an overarching goal of why has everyone stopped dreaming but you? So
that's cool.
Yeah.
We've got the crew, which is the dreamers, as your theme. What do you want to be doing for most of the game?
So I want to share my idea for my mythos was the big bad wolf, drawing on the fable of the big bad wolf and borrowing from the comic book series Fable or the game Wolf Among Us. Not literally that character, but like that idea of the big bad wolf. So I'm kind of picturing somewhat of an investigative type, but I'm not like the burly, chain-smoking, grizzled guy. I'm more like during the day, I'm an insurance adjuster. And how my mythos helps me is I can sniff out when people are lying to me.
You can smell a liar.
I can smell the lie. I know when you're lying. And the darker part of me is like, yeah, if you cross me though, if you push me past the nice guy edge and you meet the wolf, like that's not going to be fun for you. Like that's kind of my idea. So I think what I want to be doing throughout the game is bits of being able to sniff things out and bits of I am a giant fear monster behind a very like really nice guy, mild-mannered, very fragile veneer that I'm trying so hard to hold on to because I'm afraid of my own wolf.
Nice. I like that. But it also sounds to me like you'll be throwing yourself in situations where being both mild-mannered and being a fear monster is embraced and strengthened.
That's the struggle. Yeah.
What about the rest of you?
I was definitely kind of thinking of like unpacking a mystery or conspiracy type thing. So I feel like this is very much a similar vibe. I feel like my character is somebody who can like sneak into places but also do powerful things when she wants to. So I think she's very like charming but also able to, you know, muck shit up when she needs to. So yeah, I like the idea of like snooping and detectivery and like maybe some action every now and again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the way detective reading. It's beautiful.
I'm yes-anding all of this.
Mo, Rose, how about you? What would you like to be doing in the game?
As far as like as a character or as a group?
As a person.
When you threw out the idea of like a futuristic or even like a Shadowrun-esque type thing, that kind of got me thinking along the lines of like, what are my favorite aspects of cyberpunk? And that's obviously the punk. I kind of thought about having a character who is the embodiment of punk rock.
That's cool.
Or just something where her entire ethos, actually, I should be careful. I think that might be a proper noun in this game. Her entire thing is kind of anti-authoritarianism. Fighting against the power structure. But also like I'm really interested in like figuring out what's going wrong, what's going on, and cracking heads along the way.
All right. And Mo.
I see my character wanting to do some investigating and get the truth out.
So, just based on what you've all said, I'm trying to summarize it up. We definitely want to do some detectiving. That's just like, it doesn't matter what you are. You're all like, I'm going to get me some of that Columbo. But it also seems like you're all truth seekers, which I guess would come from being dreamers. Because you're the dreamers. Your idea is that you want to dream, but you also all want to like seek out the truth itself and find what's going on in there, which we can definitely work with. We'll do it when we get to the crew build-up stage, which we'll do after we've done the next two. We're just going to do this quickly before I forget. So what matters now is, because we're running a slight out of time for our break, finally, we need to finalize the city. So we know no cell phones is the only thing out there. We know we kind of want it to look neon lights. Forget it, Jack, it's Chinatown, but also Blade Runner-y, kind of old. So we've got old school tech, but communicators aren't really a thing. You maybe have a walkie-talkie or a CB radio, but you can also have like a computer with a green screen, and you have to like go to libraries to find information. Is that fair?
I'm down.
Yeah.
No wireless.
Yeah.
No wireless.
Yeah. Everything is unless Mo wants to make Frankenstein like a wireless technocracy creature too. That's also available. Like Frankenstein is so open to be anything. I'm like, you knock yourself out, babes. You let me know how it rolls. That's what's so great about Frankenstein's creature, is that they can be literally anything in any era. But other than that, no cell phones, no tech, low tech, but high tech. 80s high tech.
Aesthetically high tech, but functionally low tech.
If 1980s computers had hover cars.
Yes.
You have hackers, you have these computer data banks, all of this stuff, but you can't email anyone. You have floppy drives that, you have your data disks, you have all of this stuff. So everything has to be physical. Everything has to be passed around. It keeps people physically there.
Can computers be really big and run on tapes?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Or some version of that. I just love that aesthetic so much. It's so funny looking back at that.
Bulky machines.
This is the smallest computer in the world, and it's like
and it's the size of a room.
Yeah,
we'll put it in the computer. It'll take days.
If I may,
only days.
I'm gonna add a feature to this. Bear with me. Feel free to veto it. But the feature is, it's because people haven't been able to dream that humanity is slowly starting to understand technology a lot better. And they've kind of tried to advance way earlier, but because they can't dream, they don't really think of any like new and exciting.
There's no innovation.
There's no innovation. Just like, all right, here's a computer now. It does all the things. You can telegram Scotland, but I don't know why you'd want to. Here you go. So everything's sort of like grown technologically, but without any of the iPhone freshness. It's gone Linux without going Microsoft. It's gone all in on like multiple button screen without trying to make the user interface fair, because people don't dream, so they can't see past that.
That's so interesting.
I like it.
Which also means, because I'm also saying this now, I could say for the game, but it also means that there's probably not many awakened that are muses. Probably.
This is the muse shortage.
This just makes me think there's something out there hunting dreamers.
Like, you could have that as a thing.
Like, oh, we
People
suddenly
with
start
vision.
dreaming. Has this been happening in the past? And then just somebody just walks along and, takes them out.
Disappears them.
To dinner?
Ooh.
More importantly, I think we have enough basis that we can, in fact, jump into crew creation and then character creation. So, first things first, before we start up, I have a few things I need to double check. I want to make sure I need to see exactly how long certain things will take. So bear with me. By the way, you're all beautiful. I love each and every single one of you. Okay, so we need to create our crew, and then we need to create our characters. And we can do all this when we get back from our break. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Mo, 5 minutes gonna be enough, or do you need more time?
About 10.
We're going to take a quick 15-minute break from now and get back 10 past the hour. Everybody fair with that?
Sounds great.
All right, I'm not going to start talking, and then Leona going to push the button to switch the real vaccine
Be right back.
when I give the cue. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you much for still staying with us in this beautiful long pause. Right. So we have established what the city is. It is an 80s, slightly tech noir, no cell phones, Shadowrun / Escape from New York-esque city, where technology has been pushed forward by people who no longer know how to dream, and as such has grown vertically, horizontally, but not vertically. And as such, technology doesn't have any inspiration when it comes to building it. It's simply just building for building's sake. Our players will be dreamers. Dreamers are the only ones who are awakened, and only they are given the rights and the privilege of dreams, so such only they can inspire and move forward in the city that they live in. They are essentially people who see past the technocracy and the boring, mundane life that other sleepers tend to go for. We will now get to designing their crew. Everyone, please turn to page 146 of the character sheet, and also go to the crew theme section, 146 is the player's guide, and go to the crew theme section of your character sheet on Roll20. The first thing you're going to need is a name. The name of the group is the Dreamers. So we will have that down for that. There are now 4 aspects that need to be done. First things first, we need to ask, what is your shared goal? As a group, what is your shared goal that you've come to an idea of together? I feel like I know it, but I feel like if you say it to me, we can work on it a little better.
Why no dream?
Why no dream? Question mark?
Why no dream?
Joe, ever poetic.
And why we dream?
What for dream?
Masters of the English language, are we?
Next question. Who or what brought you together? Also already established, but it's better you tell me.
Our dreams.
Ooh, is it a dream for some of us and a nightmare for some of us? Like, is it different kinds of dream, but we saw each other?
Yep.
We can also answer in play, but that was an interesting question that just popped up.
That allows us to all have different kind of angles in this.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
I'm a fan.
Why do you work together, and what do you each contribute to the cause? You don't have to answer this entirely, but it would be nice to have a place to start.
I think we work together to keep ourselves safe. Because folks like us disappear.
Yeah, I like that. There's like a sense of we need to stick together, otherwise folks like us disappear. I think my character as well has like a very strong sense of like justice and doing right by people, and I think that also will drive her to a degree, but that doesn't necessarily mean everybody.
Next up, where do you meet? Where do you collect your evidence or prepare for action?
I feel like that's really dependent on who our characters end up being. I kind of like the idea of like some worn down old building. Old churches are always interesting. Alternatively, some hole in the wall greasy spoon diner is always a classic.
I would love a diner.
Yeah.
Can it be a taco place?
Yeah.
Yes.
Taco diner.
Sure.
Taco diner.
Greasy taco diner.
Yes.
Can there be a waitress there named Ruby who wears a red hood? I'm just trying to pull big bad wolf things into this. You don't have to do that.
Maybe. I'll give it a maybe. Maybe there'll be a
No, but yeah, I like the diner trope, especially in a noir setting. The diner is always such a cool set piece.
All right, that's sorted out. Next question is, what sort of resources do you have at your disposal? Once again, you can maybe want to wait till later to answer this, but think about it as to what you would like to have as the resources of the group that you could go reach out. Could be people, could be things, could be places, could be concepts.
For my character, I definitely feel like it's going to be more people oriented. Like I kind of like the us versus the world mentality, and so having contacts and or people you can trust is kind of where my brain was going.
All right, I'll put down people ? For now, and we can establish that more after you make your characters. I have a go on.
I was gonna say, I think my character, if, in addition to people, I think she also has places. Like, I think she might know places or know somebody who could point her to different places for things.
Nice. When you got together, 3 of you had dreams to meet, and 1 of you had a nightmare to meet. Who would like to be the one that met you all in your nightmare while the others met in the dream?
That was fast.
I want to have had the nightmare.
All right.
You don't understand. This could all be bad, really bad.
Which means if you look at the power tag questions, I would like the people who had the dreams to come up with a power tag question, and the 1 person who had a nightmare to come up with the weakness tag question. What the tag questions are
the weakness
list, question? Yeah, there's weakness tags on page 147.
Gotcha.
The power tags, essentially, you go through them, you find a question you like, you answer it, and then you pick one of the things that are written underneath as your power tag. And that's like one of the group's big moves. They have like, it's like essentially it's a point to your die roll. It is the resources you have. It is the things you can do. You can either take the ones that are written there, or you can write your own that kind of fits it similarly when you answer the question. Mo, you have weakness tag questions A, B, C, and D to pick from. Feel free to pick the one you want and then pick a tag to match the question. The rest of you, pick a letter from A to J and that you feel comfortable and happy are going for. Answer the question and come up with a power tag for that.
Okay, so we each come up with one to add to the crew?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Should I come up with the weakness first? You guys want to come up with the powers first?
I think if you've got a weakness question ready to go, then let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hear
Yeah.
it.
Why not?
Who or what are we all afraid of?
Ooh.
Disappearing.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Rose.
Others. You're only afraid of that's it? You're just afraid of disappearing?
Well, what do you think, Rose?
Well, it was kind of your question to answer, but I think the question of what's out there, what it is that's been making dreamers disappear, why it's not safe for people like us, that can have many answers, and that's what we're afraid of. Is we're thrust into a world we don't understand with something that is a bigger and meaner predator, and we don't know what it is. We don't know what it wants, but we know that something's after us.
Mo, for your weakness tag, name the predator. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to go, oh, it's Johnny Cash from down the road or Steve from Accounts.
No.
You can give it a mythical name. You can give it a ominous name, but you need a name that represents what that is.
I'm thinking something like sleep.
Oh.
I like the idea that the rest of the world is not conscious, and we are dreaming, so we are awake. If somebody has a better word for that, something maybe more lyrical or poetic, I'm open to it.
I think there's a good word for sleep that can also mean like fear
Coma?
and scared.
Like I was thinking coma, but coma is
Void.
kind of
Void.
Sleep without dreams.
Void. I think we're afraid of void.
Okay, how about we call it, you're afraid of disappearing. What you call disappearing is returning to the void.
Yeah. I almost feel like there was a fifth one of us. I don't know if that's too much to add to the narrative.
Go on, check it in there. It'll be fun.
But I think there was a fifth. I think there was a fifth one of us. And go ahead, Joe.
This just came up. Could it be fun that there was a fifth one of our group and we've all started to actively forget this person?
I was thinking the opposite, that they see us all the time and they don't remember.
Oh. We all dreamed about each other and one other person, and we all showed up, but they didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
I like that. Who's the fifth?
Or we got like intimate in the fight together and it got them.
Maybe.
Okay. All of these work.
All of these.
We could do all of them at once because Lloyd doesn't hold back.
Out there. Just tossing it out.
So check this out. Why don't we have it that I think the idea that there was someone there, there was someone with you, and they can't remember, but you do, is strong, because it means that you actively have someone that should be able to see through things, but they don't. But I also need it to match up the weakness tag a little, because return to the void is really good, but I can't tie that with, well, why don't we go on, Rose?
We're afraid of what eats the dreams.
Also pretty good.
The Dream Eater, yeah.
Dream Eater works because it gives it a nice, simple bang title, and I can tie that to the missing member.
Yep.
Dream Eater. Writing it down.
Now I have.
Now, just a heads up, I will not be invoking the Dream Eater in your roles. Only you get to invoke the Dream Eater in your roles. But when you invoke it in your roles, it becomes a problem. But you won't be able to level up unless you invoke weakness tags, which is how the game works. So it's entirely up to you when you want to drop the Dream Eater into conversation to be like, woo! Okay, that's down. That's you sorted. You three, have you picked a letter?
I was thinking H. I like the idea that we've so the H is what sort of reputation or name have you made for yourselves? I think we've made a reputation for hunting down the truth and helping up the downtrodden. Like, we're out there, we're standing up to things bigger than us, and we're helping the people who can't help themselves.
Nice. I think that's really good. What's the power tag and the grab for that?
It's cliche, but champion of the people.
That's all good.
I like it.
All of this is right up my alley, Rose.
All right, that's one down. We've got H. How about you two?
I was thinking letter A, which is how do you help, assist, or support one another? And the idea I had was we watch each other's back, both in our waking life and also like we make sure that we try to find each other when we dream, because as long as we're seeing each other in the dream, we're still dreamers. It's like a way of checking in.
Like a constant vigilance almost.
Yeah.
I like it.
What power tag would you like to grab for that?
Watch each other's back.
Just a heads up, everyone. I'll go through it one more time so you all get it together. And finally, Leona.
Yes. I was interested in E, which is how do you get around? I'm curious if everyone has thoughts on this. Oh my gosh, Rose, yes.
Through dreams, obviously.
Do we travel through dreams?
Of course.
I mean, why not?
Okay, well, that's a lot cooler than the subway, so...
It could be a subway of dreams, a boulevard, perhaps, of broken ones.
Oh, broken dreams, oh my.
We're dream walkers.
I would love someone to establish how you travel through dreams. Because I'm assuming you physically travel through dreams. But because no one dreams, you only travel through your own dreams or the dreams of the awakened around you. So it's entirely up to you to... You can be like, all right, we need to get somewhere real quick. I'm a dream walk. And I'll be like, all right, cool. Whose dream are you using to connect?
I think that's the tricky part, is finding another dreamer to walk to. So if I fall asleep and I go to Leona, I show up where Leona is.
Yeah.
But that's why finding a friendly person in the dream is so important, and not finding someone else.
Something else.
Yeah. So shall we establish it that you dream walk as the power tag, or dream walking?
I like it.
It's almost got like a Sense8 kind of vibe to it.
I've got a very silly idea, which is what if it's like a dream subway where it's like we're connected, but we have to hop on this train that takes... I think that's silly.
Well, no, Leona, you forget that it's dreams, so it's entirely what your character interprets. So if you want to have your, like, for example, I wouldn't expect someone like Frankenstein's creature to be using subways. I'd expect them to be using boats, because that kind of fits the genre. The same way.
Don't be too stuck on that.
I'm just like, you don't have to. I'm just saying, like, that's what I would put, to be like, you'd probably want to use something more old school. If you're an old school kind of person, you'd be like, Subway, back in my day, we used horse and carriage. You don't have to be like that.
Well, like, I'm starting to wonder, is the Frankenstein's creature thing, does he only know that now, that he's been awakened?
Also
in
fair.
Dreams.
Could be that you've only just realized or become Frankenstein's monster. You may not have lived that long. I'm opening it up to you, so you can literally pick whenever you want. So no pressure. But yeah, feel free to interpret your dream walk as to what you want your dream walk to be, and then stick to it. Because if you change it, that means that I get to change mine too. Anyway, back to the game. So write down on the crew theme, you want your weakness tag and your power tags to be. Weakness tag is the Dream Eater. And then you're going to dream walk on the dream. Good times. Your power tags are Champion of the People, Watch Each Other's Back, and Dream Walking. And finally, you need an identity that establishes what your crew is. So a single phrase that summarizes your crew as to what your characters believe in.
Are we going to keep the dream alive?
Dreaming for a better world. That eye roll was 100% earned. Thank you.
Now, I have one more thing to say. So, actually, I may have to, no, it's best to do it now. There are two types of themes. There are logos and there are mythos. A mythos means that your crew theme is mystical in nature, which is kind of what you still have right now. So you're going to phrase your identity question as a mystery question instead. So your identity statement as a mystery question. So whatever your statement is, it can't be a statement. It has to be a question. It's something you're constantly trying to search to understand. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but that's kind of the two distinguishing ones. It'll make more sense when we go to the next stage.
What is the Dream Eater?
That's also a perfectly sensible question. You could go for that. And what it means is every time you try to answer that question, you level up, essentially. And every time you ignore that question or you forgo being able to answer that question, you might break your crew's like ideals and they might be destroyed and you might lose access to dreaming.
I think what happened to the dreaming.
Yeah, I like that.
It could also be what happened to the one that went missing, if you really want to force it that.
I feel like they're part of the larger mystery.
Okay. Oh, you don't. Just a heads up. You can't make smaller mysteries that lead into larger mysteries. When you answer a mystery, it's replaced by a new one. So if you want to start small and build up to the big boys, you could do it that way too. But you can also just start with a big, hardcore, straight up mystery. That's what we're doing. 12 sessions. Let's go. That's also cool.
Which one of us is the Dream Eater?
Oh no!
Yes.
I might have to X card that because I'm not a huge fan of PvP. But that's such a good question.
But like,
so
what
good.
if we don't know? Like, it's not.
I mean,
don't
you say
if you
PvP.
are it, you don't know you are it.
You say PvP. I'm okay it being X carded to not be put in if you're worried that it will lead to the players going against each other. I'm okay not putting that in. As sweet as it would be for me, I'm okay not putting that in.
God, that's such a tasty concept, though.
It is. I would rather not risk the PvP though.
Yeah.
All right. Tell you what. As the GM, I will put my foot down and say, I will make it so the answer to that question does not pit the players against each other.
I like that. Like, I don't think any of us are actively being the Dream Eater. I think like there's something like one of us might be Comet or we're in danger of like, I don't know. Just something about that concept seems very interesting.
It's interesting to me, but in my brain, the Dream Eater is part of some larger conspiracy of like a power structure. It hints at some nefarious organization or something that is trying to keep the dreamers down.
Cool.
And
gotcha.
And that's just what I've been building in my head.
Okay.
It is not, canon yet. So
how about this? Which one of us is the next Dream Eater?
Oh.
Or which one of us does the Dream Eater work through or see through?
Not see through, is the next. The reason why I bring this up is because you know there must always be a dream eater in some way or some form, and your dreams have told you that one of you is destined to be the next dream eater. What they do as the dream eater is entirely separate. But
Got it. Okay, I like that.
The question of how do we stop the current one from doing what it's doing and stop us from becoming it?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So let's put it down. Which one of us is destined to be the next dream eater? Because you must, it's kind of like, what was that show, Game of Thrones, where they're like, which one of you is the super kid? I don't know. One of you is the super kid, right? Oh, wait, you all are. Why do we waste time? Anyway, I'll get back to that show. That show and I, we have words. All right. All right. So that is your crew sorted. Congratulations. You have a crew. And now it's time to make your characters. This is the actual hard part. For those listening at home, get ready for a lot of pausing. So just take your time. Probably go at what's called 1.5 speed at this point. So I just sorry. All right, so let's do this. Now I split. Three of you know what's going on. Rose, I need to come
up. And one of us is Rose.
So here's how it works. Go all the way back through the character sheets, back to the big reference sheet for yourself on page 45. When you make your character, the first thing you do is you need to come up with a concept. So you need to pick a mythos that embodies your concept. Your mythos, the mythos so far are the big bad wolf, a really good Bollywood movie, and Frankenstein's creature. Those are the three mythoses that are on the board currently. A mythos can be literally anything. There is no limit to what it is. You are the dreamers. It is what people dream of. And your dreams can be interpreted from anything. Feel free to just go through your mind and think, I want this to be my mythos. And you grab that to be your mythos. And once you get that mythos, you are then ready to pick your logos. And your logos is your normal everyday life. That is your general, I'm making a character. This is who I am. Feel free to go as high concept or as low concept as you like for your mythos. And feel free to go for high concept or low concept for your logos, because both work just fine. Once those are done, I'll come back to you, but take your time. I'm just going to explain to the rest of them because how it works. Characters are built from playbooks with 4 themes. 4 themes are some are mythos and some are logos. And depending on how far down you are on either line, depends on what kind of person you are. If you are touched, you have 1 mythos and 3 logos. Okay, you have 1 mythos theme and 3 logos themes, which I'll go to the themes afterwards so you know what's going on with that. That means that you have very little magical power, but you're mostly yourself. You believe in yourself, your concepts are there, you're fine. So think Spider-Man for a superhero who's like mythos 1, logos 3, where they have a normal everyday life, but also they sling words to save lives, to kick some butt. Typical generic street level superhero would be that. If you're borderline, you have 2 mythos themes and 2 logos themes. And this is for your big boy, I'm stepping in. I am basically stepping into both worlds. I'm wielding power. I'm kicking ass. So it embodies you. It doesn't change you that much physically. It can, but not that much. So essentially, you can basically pass as human in some way, both mentally, physically, spiritually, everything else. So think Thor. Or in a kind of think Wilder Iron Man. They would be a borderline character where they are very clearly like man and God or man and machine, and they're like half and half, and they're like they have a good leg between both, and they're a bit larger than life. If you want to go legendary, then you have 3 mythos and 1 logos, which means you are all in on power and strength, and your mythos embodies you, but you do have something that makes you, a little bit human. So you're thinking, all it says about this, the Hulk. That is a perfect 3 mythos, 1 logos character. They are big, they're bulky, they punch things, but when the sun goes down real low, they're like, oh, okay, I'm cool. And they're a scientist. So that would be that. If at any time, due to circumstances, you gain all 4 in one or the other, you are no longer a playable character, and you either have fallen asleep or in our terms, stopped dreaming, or you have gone all 4 in, or in our terms, become a dream eater. That is the game we're playing so far. Feel free to go either touched, borderline, or legendary. All apply, and you know what the consequences of both will be. Let's start with someone who has actually finished their character, because that way we can talk while people are writing quietly and there isn't a dead air. Hey, Joe, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, I'm living the dream. You know how it is. Woo!
Yeah,
just trying to find a dead air while people are thinking what they want to do. Let's go over your mythos and logos to start with. What are you thinking?
So my mythos is the big bad wolf. My logos is I'm an insurance claims investigator / adjuster.
Oh, wow. And how deep are you going on both ends?
About half and half, I'd say.
So borderline?
Borderline. Yeah, I'm borderline
means,
for sure.
That's pretty cool, which means that you have 2 mythos and 2 logos,
yes,
which is pretty
That's
high.
correct.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mo, how about you? How are you feeling for your characters, mythos and logos?
I'm feeling borderline.
And what are you hoping to play as?
Frankenstein's creature.
Nice.
Stroke journalist.
Oh, hey, live the dream. So what's great about that means that you can have physical, like actual things on, like your tattoos, and people who think it's weird. And we can also play on the whole, like, actually, let me just clarify that right now. Do you want to play on the whole idea that Frankenstein's creature is unnatural, so people view it in a form of horror when they see it, if you want? Because we don't have to play that.
I don't think he is unnatural.
All right.
I think I'm more leaning into the tragic. If that makes sense.
I'm down for the tragic. Tragic is great. My middle name is Tragic. Lloyd Tragic Dad. I like that down too. Keep an eye on that, and we'll come back to in a minute. Leona.
Hello.
Why don't you tell us about your character concept?
So I would like my mythos to be specifically Shanti Priya, the character from the movie Om Shanti Om, which is a Bollywood movie. So I'm pulling elements of Bollywood, but also elements of that particular character into this mythos.
That's interesting. Could you summarize Om Shanti Om for us so we have an idea of what it is for those of us who've not seen it?
Very briefly, the story involves a tale of reincarnation. The main character's name is Om. The love interest's name is Shanti. Om and Shanti in the first half of the movie are ill-fated lovers who truly do deserve each other, but Shanti is unfortunately married to someone else and a famous movie actress, and Om is a struggling junior artist who loves her to death but cannot be with her. Shanti gets unfortunately murdered by her husband because of reasons that have to do with the movie, but in summary, it's unjust. Shanti is treated very, very unjustly. In the second half of the movie, Om, who dies basically trying to save Shanti, is reincarnated and essentially comes back to have revenge on the person who killed the love of his life, and is successful. And of course, at the very end of the movie, you see the ghost of Shanti show up to have her own revenge. And that's a very short summary of Om Shanti Om. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on in there.
Well, here's the interesting part. What part of that would you like to embody?
I'm very interested in embodying Shanti Priya herself. The entire movie is like the men doing all the things. And I'm like, no, come on. This woman was great. Like, let's talk more about this lady herself. You know, she was loved by all is kind of a tag concept I had kind of rolling around. Like, at one point they call her the Queen of Hearts. So the fact that she's loved by all, or, you know, the fact that when she becomes the vengeful ghost, she's suddenly able to manipulate fire because that was how she died. So potentially elements of that, like, ghost character is kind of the bit that I would like to see the mythos.
And I think that's fantastic. So what are you thinking of going? You're going half, 1 in, or 3 in?
I'm thinking half.
All right. With half, I think you can easily have both the whole, like, loved by all and also vengeful spirit put together.
Yeah.
To be that embodiment of, I can't pronounce her name, I apologize.
Shanti. We can call her Shanti.
You can have that whole embodiment of Shanti, but also don't forget that there is a third Shanti, which is Sandy from the movie.
This is true.
Who is also there, who is essentially, although they don't take a big step within the movie to actually do anything big, and they're brought in essentially by the men, they do have their own character, and they do their best to try and solve the mystery, because they also embody the vengeful idea in there, but they're also mild-mannered. So that's also a third part that you could also try and tie together. So there is someone who would also play in that. It's up to you to decide which. There are 3 shanties that you can go for, and you can combine them all or split them up or go for 2 and go for 1. Is entirely up to you.
I'm kind of taking that Sandy character and I'm gonna make her into the Logos side, and I've decided the Logos side is named Priya, and Priya is that softer kind of girl who's just, you know, she's naive and wide-eyed, kind of the way that Sandy was, and she just wants to do her best. I think she's actually an aspiring actress who just wants to do her best. And then lo and behold, you know, things go kaboom in the city, and now all of a sudden she has to figure out all these dream things. And she's like, well, this is very confusing. But she has a little logos of a ghost that's going to help her out, maybe.
Well, how does Shanti express herself?
In terms of, like...
In terms of how does your mythos express itself? Like, Joe has the whole fear and big wolf thing where they're like, brr. But how does Shanti... Do you get the Shanti mantra? Do you suddenly pop up in, like, Dream Girl Sari and then you're in that mood, but like stealth version? It's up to you. I don't want to put things in your mouth or what you want to say, but how do you want to embody when you become Shanti and no longer Priya? How does the audience tell the difference?
Yes, I had a couple of ideas that I had jotted down, so I've just pulled them up. I was thinking about some, like, the doppelganger effect, like Shanti. I mean, because the movie plays on themes of reincarnation, I was thinking maybe that when Shanti kind of takes effect, it's possible for there to be multiple Priyas, basically, like little ghost forms of her that are able to, like, be in multiple places at once, potentially. Or we can go full poltergeist power, and, you know, when Shanti is around, you know, she's able to cause fires and knock chandeliers over and be very dramatic like that.
Or both.
Or both. All the above.
I don't see why you can't just be like, I am essentially in this situation the goddess of vengeance and reincarnation. I can be anywhere. I can be anyone. If you want to go by that, you can also do that. Because at the end of the movie, I don't want to spoil. I will spoil this movie for some of you. I apologize.
Pulling out headphones. Hang on.
I didn't movie. Shanti does swap. So there is a possibility that you could swap with other people if you like. Also, everything is dreams.
Yeah.
Just pull up Mr. Anderson and just like pull it like agent that what's the name of this? Boop.
She just like switches places, and all of a sudden it's like, which one is the real Shanti? Like, you don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. You can mass up disguise it. There's so many options. take your time. We'll come back to which ones you want to go for in a bit. Let's jump to Rose.
Hello.
All right, Rose. I have gone through 3 people to give you some time.
Yeah. No, I think the concept I've been mulling over for a while will work. Which is I want to play a girl who is her mythos is the embodiment of punk rock, just like the soul of punk.
Nice.
And kind of a spirit of rebellion. And for her logos would be, I'm thinking either like a pharmacist, a chemist, or possibly a nurse.
Okay.
And kind of the idea being kind of this idea of like building a movement, venting anger and emotion, and kind of the urge to tear things down to build anew.
Nice. But more importantly, how many logos and how many mythos are you thinking of going in?
That's really hard.
Change
so I kind
later.
of the mild mannered, like, mostly a normal person, and then like the the music takes her, and like her ponytail turns into Liberty Spikes kind of thing.
What's a Liberty Spike?
Liberty Spikes are a mohawk where it is hair made of spikes, or spikes made of hair.
Cool. Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah. I know what's up.
Yeah. So something like that. As far as how many, I'm not sure. It kind of, it feels weird to go beyond half and half to start with. I feel like the storyline could turn into just turning into this force of nature. But
well, currently we have 3 people who are going half and half because they all want power. That will change, don't you worry. But your character concept next to Mo's is the most likely to go 3 in 1 because you are the embodiment of punk. You believe in rebellion and fighting and anti-authority, and you want all of that. And like in a world where no one dreams, you need to wake everyone up to put them to sleep. That doesn't make any sense. You need to bring something that isn't the dreariness to the world as it is. So you could go 3 and 3. That aside, let's go through the list of possible themes on both sides. Everyone make notes. Some of you have already made notes. That's what about you. But those of you make notes, and I'm going to go through this so you can understand and hear what it says. So the mythos themes are adaptation, which is versatility. So you can basically be anything and move around anything you want. Bastion, which is defense. So you're a stalwart wall. Divination, which is information for gaining things out of that. Expression, which is offense or abilities to alter realities, your big blow-up spell nonsense. Mobility, movement. Relic, something you have that makes you powerful. Or subversion, which is stealth and deceit and lying and being all sneaky and stuff. Those are the mythos themes that are available. The logos themes are much clearer. They are defining event, okay, something that happened in the past that made you the way it was. Could be the event we've all established when one wakes up, could be something else. Defining relationship, aka someone that keeps you going straight. A mission, your personality, your possessions, your routine, aka your normal, basically everyday job, or physical or mental or spiritual training. And it's up to you to decide which ones you want to go for that. Once you've made up your mind, in the theme books, all of them are listed, and each one goes through essentially like from top to bottom, building your character from the same way you did your other ones. You come up with a concept, you come up, if you're mythos, you come up with a question, or if you're a logos, you come up with an identity, aka a statement about yourself, and then you pick power tags, and then you pick weakness tags. And then after that, once you're all done, we're going to go through each one of you, and we're going to go through your crew relationships. Take your time, take a look at it, and see how you feel about it. And while you do that, I'm going to quickly remember if I ask you all this now or later. There's some part of this that I always get lost at, and it's when it comes to crew relationships. So I always have to make sure I double check these. Okay. Right. We now have an idea of what everyone's going to play. And while you three sort of like go through your idea of your expressions, I'm going to jump to you first, Joe. And we're going to deal with your mysteries and your your identities. And we're going to pick your crew relationships, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we'll start off. Tell me about your logoses, so we know what your logoses are, including your your statements.
Okay, so my logos are defining moment and routine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a statement for them both?
I might have to rework my defining moment because I feel like I want to tie it to the dream, like the nightmare that I've been having.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a nightmare of me as a giant wolf that's eating the world.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's my defining like event. My routine is I'm a claims investigator, and you can't lie to me.
That's a killer theme. Have you come up with different what's the I'm looking for with power tags and a weakness tag?
I have. I might have to redo the defining event one, but my claims investigator power tags are: I have crime scene analysis. I can interview claimants, and I have a tiny studio apartment.
Oh, that's sweet. And your weakness tag?
My weakness tag is I'm constantly being pressured to deny rightful claims by my company.
Ooh.
Because my job is technically find loopholes to not give people their claim. Okay.
I like it. It's awesome and it's hot. Come back to that in a minute. Why don't we go on to your mythoses?
My mythi. Yeah. I'm divination and expression. Yeah. So for divination, I have the wolf's nose. I think my identity there is
your mystery.
I'm gonna have to. I might have to come back and work on that. I do have the power tags, which is I have wolf's instincts. I can predict my foe's next move, and I have a gut feeling when I'm being deceived.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why you can't. Yes, strong winds or scent blocking will render my wolf's nose inoperable, or it's all based on scent for me.
All right. And your expression?
My expression, it's called bigger, badder. How far must I go to keep the balance? My power tags are beastly fighting. My powers are enhanced by fear or by the presence of injustice. And I have a thick skin and hide. My weakness is if I lose control, I will brutalize and devour.
Nice. So, even though we are going to go back to work on your other ones, I think you've pretty much established that those are the themes you're picking, right?
Right.
Under your themes, you have a section called crew relationships. For each of those themes, pick one of the question under crew relationships to be answered, but to answer for one of the other player characters. So there's 4 there. You pick someone, you go, what it says, blah, blah, what it says, blah, blah. And it'll tell you what you do for each one. And there's 3 questions in each. Pick one from each theme. And then when everyone gets together, we'll go through it. And those are very important because they establish what your relationships are and establish help and hurt points, which can be used to basically aid or hinder when other players are doing stuff.
Where am I finding the questions for that? I'm sorry.
On each theme book in the rule book, at the very end, and
at the very end. Got it.
After title or mystery, it'll be right there. Crew relationships.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go through those.
Yeah, take your time. You got plenty of time to go through that. And besides, now it's time for me to go put some pressure on them to Mo, so it's fine. Right, Mo, how you doing?
I'm getting my head around this.
Excelente. This is the hardest part of the game that you're gonna have. Everything else will be so smooth. So have you decided on what you wanted yet?
I think my mythos is going to be. So I'm trying to figure out if it's Bastion or adaptation, because it's repairable.
It could be either.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference.
Depends on how you define repairable. Because repairable for Bastion, adaptation means that if your body takes some kind of damage, you'll grab anything and you'll fix it up. If it's defense, it means you will physically actually have to like tune it. You can take a lot of hits, but you can go home and again and then fix it up like that. So if you want to fix on the battlefield, you would go for adaptation. So I think if you want to be like, you could take a whole bunch of hits and then go home and then refix yourself, you take Bastion. Or you can take both and be like,
yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Any others that excite you?
I'm just scanning through real quick.
Take your time. I can come back to you later. I can go bother Leona.
Maybe mobility.
Ooh, what mobility for? Tell me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think our mobilities are dreaming.
And
I don't know if we get that automatically then.
Well, mobility can be different things. Think more about your theme than think about the dreaming. Don't worry about you being able to move and stuff like that. Because mobility in this is mostly for how things can't hold you back. But it's also about being graceful and dexterous or flying or riding things. So I don't feel like that really, unless you want to play a specific type of Frankenstein creature, which is also possible. You can also not skip that. If you want one, if you want some ideas, I feel would really like help push what your character is.
Give me some ideas.
This is gonna sound weird, but there's always relic for your heart.
Oh.
Because one of the things that is very important is that you're powered by lightning, right? As well. So there's also expression for you being a big, strong, hit thing, break thing down as well for that. So those two could really work for you.
Yeah, I think I'm staying away from big, strong guy.
In which case, relic could go well because your heart you could be like powered by lightning by your heart, and your heart is your relic, and it gives you specific things.
So I'm still trying to get my head around if I have always been a Frankenstein creature, or if I woke up and realized these things.
You could do both. You could be like, I woke up and I feel like I've always been this, but I was asleep and I didn't know it. So how long have I been sleeping for since I became Frankenstein's creature? Also, where the hell is Frankenstein?
Right.
Yo, Frankie, where you at? You gotta catch these hands. Frankie gotta catch these hands when I see his ass. It's on site. It could be that as well. It could be like you went to bed and you woke up and you're like, I've always been Frankenstein's creature. What the heck?
Right.
Nobody tell me. No wonder I'm so fit. No pressure, though. Entirely up to you how you want to interpret that.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out also the logo stuff. What page does that start off?
Logos, the theme books start from defining event on page 110. It's defining events, defining relationship, mission, personality, possessions, routine, and training.
Okay. So I think I'm definitely gonna start with mission.
What do you want a mission to be?
So my initial, before we developed the world, my thought was that my mission would be to make sure the formula for creating creatures like me doesn't get out.
That could still be a mission.
Is it? Does that work in line with dealing with the Dream Eater?
Absolutely. Just because the Dream Eater is eating dreams. I mean, like in this world where people are just making things without being inspired, it's more likely they would actually create another Frankenstein's creature. So it could be you essentially looking into those certain types of technology and being like, we can't go that far. We need to hold back. You could also take it on board and go even further than that. Before I continue, what was the formula you're trying to stop do?
It creates life.
You could be a journalist that goes to exposes companies trying to play God.
Yeah,
that could be your mission.
That is exactly what I had in mind up front.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how to phrase it to make the title sound cool. We need a better mind for that, but that could easily be what you do.
So I'm looking at possessions. I'm looking at routine.
Go through that while I jump over to Leona and put them under pressure.
Hello.
Before I finally get to Rose, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Rose. Hi, I know you had like 5 minutes. Life sucks. Hey, Leona, what's up? How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Nice. Everyone loves a good character creation session. So let's go over how you are doing for yours.
I think I have decided on my two mythos things.
Go on.
And I have decided on expression and adaptation, and I have fleshed out expression. I'm working on adaptation.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So for expression, I was thinking about Shanti's like angry flames of justice type of thing, and that's how she kind of expresses herself. Is fire. So
I like it.
I called it the vengeful spirit, and I have made the mystery, how can I contain my fire? How can Shanti contain that fiery rage within her? Because she wishes to burn all who cause injustice. She gets very upset about anyone who she sees having injustice, similar to, like, even if it's not at all similar to what she went through, just like the idea of injustice just upsets her. She's a very angry girl. And
once again, Mo, could you lift your mic up a little bit for me? I think we're still catching your breathing. My hero. Carry on, Leona.
No worries. And so for the questions, I need to scroll back up to the questions. Unless you happen to have the questions available for me.
What, for which one? For expression?
Yes.
I mean, I always have the questions available. There's like 12.
So many.
Which one do you
so
want?
many.
Yeah, you pick 3. What you want?
Did.
I don't know what you want from me.
A,
Make sure you do A and then do the rest.
Yes, I did A. I did A, I, and G. And I forget what the question was. But for the first power tag, I did magical fire, essentially.
Nice.
That's how she expresses herself, is through the flames that she is able to create and cause. So I thought magical fire was a good power tag. Forget exactly what question I was, but I believe it was something along the lines of
what attitude do you want to adopt when expressing your mythos?
Yes. For this one, terrifying. She wants to come across terrifying. These are flames of rage. So, anyone who's witnessing this should be scared. And the last question that I picked was G.
Okay. Why don't I have to go to G? G is one additional expression, not necessarily related to the main one. Does your mythos have?
Yeah. And for that one, I was thinking about how during that kind of final scene, she is kind of able to manipulate the space. We see the chandeliers kind of do a whole thing. So I called it poltergeist style item manipulation because it felt very like poltergeist energy. Where it's like,
could we summarize that a little bit? That's a bit long.
That's fair. That is very long. We can make it smaller.
Poltergeist is perfectly fine.
Poltergeist? Okay. So long as that's not too open ended for you.
No, because like you're gonna be able to lift things and throw things. I'm like, it's poltergeist. It's not. Yeah. You're not gonna throw buildings.
No. Throw, like, it's just like random things go flying.
Yeah.
And then for the weakness tag, I picked question C. And for that one, I decided that it's the thing that she wants to like, that she's at risk of doing and that she needs to try and prevent is overwhelming destruction. If she gets too upset, well, a fire can burn out of control. And so there may be overwhelming destruction if she is not keeping herself in check.
Sounds fantastic. I love all of that. Get working on your adaptation and get to work on giving us Priya.
Indeed.
And I'll get back to you.
That's good.
All right, let's jump down to Rose. Well, quick cough. Oh, did I mute vote?
Nope. There we go.
How embarrassing.
Oh, it happens. So I have been trying to work on my homework.
Hey, how you doing? I know life sucks because you had like 5 seconds to go through all of this. I'm really sorry.
Honestly, this is an encapsulation of how games go for me in general. So this is all good. Okay, so I think I'm going 3-1 for Mythos and Logos. I think I want to go Expression, Bastion, and Relic.
I love it. I love all of that. Yes. Don't be like these borderline people.
No, don't make her go home. If somebody's got to eat some dreams, it might as well be me.
Damn right.
So for Expression, I think it was A and I. A was what I think it was like, what method do you use your mythos for? It was just extreme violence.
I love it. You just tell me the tag, so it's all good. Just keep going with that.
And then for the next one was I, which is what attitude do you adopt when you're using your mythos, which is Hellraiser. The name I chose for this one was Holly Hellraiser, which might be the character's first name.
Okay. I like it.
And then the next one and the weakness for that, I think was going to be what happens if I bring my mythos into the real world, which is, I was thinking either that one could be just riots.
I like it.
Just I bring the chaos with me. Or the other one was like, what downside does using your mythos have? Which I was just going to say unsubtle.
I feel riots is very strong.
Okay.
As a weakness tag, because when you bring it in, you're like, oh, my mythos is people are listening and are charging. And things, and that will always cause problems. So you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
The next one was going to be Bastion, which the name I've got in drafts is Rally Round the Family. In parentheses, with a pocket full of shells. Which is just kind of the idea. I hadn't gotten a chance to read through all of the different options, but the idea of strength in unity, strength in community, strength in other people. So the more people she's able to bring together, the stronger they are, the safer they are. Nice. Basically, if she's, pulling people around her or at the front of a group of people, that she is physically stronger, harder to hurt, like literally together we're unstoppable kind of mentality.
Okay. I love that too. That's great. And how about Relic? What do you think about Relic for far?
Relic has got to be an axe. She's got to have a sick ass guitar. Either that or a bass. I'm not sure.
Why not both? I mean, axe and bass.
Just crossed guitars on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, screw it. Whoa! Dual wielding. Let's go.
Dual wielding. Exactly. Yeah.
It could be one of like two-sided
Oh,
guitars.
the double necked.
The double, and you just pull them apart and you're like, let's go.
Oh yeah, and then like just it's a blade on either side. Perfect. We've got it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still need to figure out
everything punk.
The questions for that and the weakness for it and stuff like that. But
sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
I would say stick to that right now. The problem I have at the moment is that we are slowly running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to do a day in the life today, but I also know this generation will take some time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, keep going. I'm going to do one more round, and I'm going to see where we are, and then I'm going to get back to it. So you're doing great. Keep at it. I love what you do. Loving your work. I'll speak to you in a minute. Let's jump down to Mo. Mo, how are you doing?
So for each logos, we're supposed to get a advantage and weakness?
Yes.
Just one.
3 power tags, 1 weakness tag.
For each logos?
For each logos, yes.
Okay. And then
the
for
same
each
thing as the mythos. Yes, each mythos, 3 power tags, 1 main tag. Sounds good. Right. If you're cool, I'm going to jump back to Joe after my coughing break. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just coughing everywhere. I hate it. I don't have COVID though. Anyway, Joe, let's start with you. How you doing?
I'm feeling so good right now.
I love it. Tell me how far you got so far.
I think I've got most of my stuff. I've also written down the questions for the crew. So whatever we want to jump into, I think I've got my stuff down.
I think you should hold on to that. I'm gonna do a loop to see. Actually, everyone's still working on the stuff right now, and I don't want to interrupt them because they have their own things to go on. So I'm gonna tell you the secret advanced special that no one knows yet.
Yes.
You get to pick one of your theme books to have 1 extra power tag, question answered, and 1 extra weakness tag.
Ooh, that's cool. Okay.
So take a look.
I'll work on that
and see which one you like.
Awesome.
But we could hold off doing that till after we're done, because I think I'm going to do one last round. I feel everyone has an idea what a character is. And once I just need everyone to be basically secure on their theme books, and we can do crew relationships, maybe do a day in the life without any rolling. And then everyone can basically finish their characters for homework.
Awesome.
That way, I'm also trying to kill all dead air because people are like, are they going to actually play the game? I'm like, guys, this takes a while. I'm sorry.
This is a session 0. Stay tuned.
Session 0. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Please bear with me. Okay, so coming through in a minute, let me jump over to Mo. Mo, how are you doing for your theme books? Although you might want to unmute yourself first.
For mission, I have stopping Frankenstein's formula.
Oh, baby.
And so that has, I most need tracking in order to carry that out. I'm trying to figure out how much of this I need to copy onto the sheet.
You only need to copy the tag itself. You don't need to copy the phrase or the statement. That could be in your head. You only need the tag.
So A, tracking. Okay. So I need tracking.
Oh, you don't even need the A. You just write tracking.
Okay. I'm fluent in alchemy. And
my favorite.
I think.
Could I change alchemy?
Yeah.
I feel alchemy limits you a little to alchemy. Actually, no. I can make that work. Ignore me. It's fine. I'll make it work.
Change it to weird science?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to, but I also want to leave it as alchemy. So we know people are doing specifically alchemy stuff.
My weakness is they know I'm coming.
Hey, George. Yeah, George. What's I think Francis Creed something. How'd you know? He's outside the door.
Yep. He's onto us.
Right there. He's right there. He's waving at me. What do I do? Okay. Mo, I sounds to me like you've got your 4 theme book sorted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For that one, and then I think my other logos is personality. I think I'm a minor respected celebrity.
Oh, I mean, you are a famous journalist, right?
And, kind of more of a Noam Chomsky.
What does that mean?
People don't get what I'm talking about, but they know I'm very serious about it.
Incredible.
Like this guy's smart and he is fair and honest.
Do you have a YouTube? I know YouTube doesn't exist, but do you have a radio show?
Well, no, I'm a journalist.
Do you have a radio show?
A newsletter.
So I am somebody people get on all of their shows, or they call me whenever they want something that's crackpotish, but they want it taken seriously.
I like it. Okay, that's fantastic. What I want you to do now, because we're slightly running out of time, you know, we've got 2 hours to the next show, is I would like you to go to each of your theme books and go down to crew relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And over there are 3 questions in each theme book. Grab one from each theme book, and it'll give you 4 questions that you ask the other players. So go through it all, pick one from each theme book, and save it till I get back to you.
Okay.
Because
I'm sorry, I was busy with homework. Could you say that one more time?
No, Rose, keep doing homework. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Okay, cool.
You don't have to worry about it. I'll generally come talk to you in a minute. But yeah, Mo, if you sort that out, I'm going to jump to Leona for now. Leona.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Fantastic. So, sounds to me, have you got your 4 theme books ready?
I think so. I was going to do expression and subversion for my mythos. And for the logos, I am thinking of personality and mission.
Ooh.
I mean, I have it all fleshed out, but that's the gist.
All right. The reason why I asked this is because to speed up slightly and give you all some homework for later, I would like you to go to each of those 4 theme books. At the very end of it, there's a bit that says crew relationship, and it has questions. What I want you to do is I want you to write down 1 question from each of your 4 theme books, and then we'll do a group thing together to get that down before we can just about summarize what things are up and we can wrap up for the day. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Now that you're done, Rose.
Yes.
Hey, Rose, how you doing? Sounds to me like you've picked your 4 theme books, right? You're definitely certain.
I haven't picked out my mundane or my logos yet. I was thinking training with the idea of like being a nurse and then like, you know, having real world skills of like, oh yeah, I know how to patch people up and stuff like that.
That's not bad. I like that because the physical. You're like, it's not your routine. It's your training. You're trained to do this. This is where your skills lie.
Yeah, and real world stuff. I'm trained in CPR and first aid and all that stuff. So the idea of just like, oh yeah, this is an inherent part of me of I know how to help people when they're hurt.
I'll just double check to make sure that does follow the trade. Yeah, education, jack of all trades, partnership, life skills, field record research. Yep. Perfect. That works perfect for you. What I want you to do now is, I know you're like all in on that, but I'm trying to like speed this up a bit because
totally.
It's already 1 a.m. for me. So I like to sleep.
Good Lord.
I would like you to go to each of the 4 theme books you have and go to the end of the pages. There's a section called crew relationships. Over there, I'd like you to pick. There's going to be 3 questions per theme book. I'd like you to pick 1 question in each theme book from the crew relationships and write them down somewhere. And we're going to ask, you're going to say it when we get to you for the other players so that we know what it is that they want to do and how we're going to play it out. And we'll have a day in the life scene, and then we're going to wrap it up. Is that okay? Fantastic. All right. And with you done, I'm going to jump finally to Joe. So everyone come back to the room. Rose, you have a little bit more homework to do, so bear with you. Joe,
yes.
Do you have your 4 questions?
I do.
So this bit is called help or hurt. and it establishes what your relationship with the other characters are. When you gain points in your help or hurt, you can spend them to help them out and essentially give them a +1 to their rolls. But this establishes what your beginning relationships are. So, what is your first question for your crew relationship?
Okay.
And who are you asking it to?
Ooh, so I get to choose who I ask it to. Okay, let me go with so I'll go with the routine question. One of them views your routine as prosaic, mundane, or repetitive. Ask them whether they look down on it or they admire you for it. If they look down on it, take a hurt point on them. If they admire you for it, take a help. So, Rose, what do you think about my day-to-day 9 to 7 Monday through Friday routine as a claims adjuster working for an insurance company that is all about protecting the industry and absolutely against the common people?
So what are the consequences here for my answer one last time?
So if you look down on me for it, I get a point of hurt. Or
okay,
if
so
you admire me for it,
yes, she absolutely looks down on you for it, but she doesn't blame you. You're just a cog in the machine that needs to be pulled out of it.
I love it.
All right, that's one down. Next question.
Let me just make a note that is a -1.
It will be under in your theme books. The one that's character card at the very bottom is crew. That's where you note it.
I'll fill that out in a bit. I've got too many notepads open, but I'll go back and okay.
No problem.
Defining moment. One of them is trying to help you or make you get over your defining moment and move on. If you appreciate it, take a point of help. If you resent it, take a point of hurt. So, let me see. Are we doing all 4, or are we just doing 3 because there's 3 players?
For now, we're just doing 3 because there's 3 players.
Okay, so I might not do because there's more fun ones. Let me do divination. You used your powers to learn a shocking secret about one of them without their knowledge. If it made you feel closer to them, take a point of help. If you were disgusted or horrified, take a point of hurt. I'm at a loss for who I want to choose between Mo and Leona. Is there a volunteer for this one?
I could go with that. I'd like to hear your last one.
My last one is expression. So one of them witnessed you expressing your mythos at full power. Ask them what they thought about it. If it scared them, take a hurt. If they appreciated it, take a help.
I think I like the last one better, unless Leona does.
I'm also chuckling because I took that question as well. But if you like the last one, Mo, then I'll take the one before. If you don't mind.
Can I make the call? Can I make the call? Because no one can decide. I feel Mo should have the second question and Leona should have the last question because I feel Mo's character has more secrets than Leona's character does.
Okay.
I like it.
So we can discover what the shocking secret is in game afterwards. But I learned a shocking secret about Mo's character, and I think it does make me feel closer to them because it helps me understand where they're coming from.
All right. Okay. Then give them a help.
Yeah, great.
And then finally for Leona, they witnessed you use your powers.
Yes.
Were they like, oh wow, or they were like, ugh.
I mean, Joe, what would you say like at the full extent your powers look like?
So there's a surface level to the big bad wolf, which is like, oh, it's the scary story you tell kids, and it's the theme of this is the thing that you use to instill fear in people, right? As like a cautionary tale. But then at the extreme, I can devour a god. Like I'm the thing that the things you fear would fear. So it's pretty terrifying. Like I probably like straight up ate a thing.
Right.
Like, devoured it.
Lloyd, would I be answering this question as my mythos or just as my character, like as my logos mostly?
As your character, so both everything all kind of combined.
All of it.
What
all
would
together.
you feel? So yeah, like not just Priya and what's called and Shanti together.
Okay.
What would they think?
I think it scared them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're taking a point of hurt on me.
Nice. And that's me.
All right, that's you done. Let's jump to yes, Mo. Mo, you want to go next?
Yes.
Put me in, coach. Let's go.
Coach.
Frank's not gonna catch these hands. Okay, so I can't wait till you fight Frankenstein. It's gonna be so cool. Anyway, back to where we left. Mo, tell me your 4. You can only get to use 3.
3, yeah. So I once protected someone dear to you, possibly even you. If you were who was grateful or who was hurt?
Oh, which one is that one?
That is Bastion.
Bastion. I'll go straight because the phrasing of that is very careful. I have to make sure I've got this right so I don't mess you up.
Nobody likes that. Okay, moving on.
No. Everyone's waiting for you to use it. You decide.
Oh.
Yeah. Who did you protect? Were they grateful or were they like, I don't need your help? Get out of here. Miss me with that Frankenstein.
That Franken crap. I think it might be Joe.
Okay.
The big bad wolf needing help. If you were grateful, they get a help. If you were not grateful, they get a hurt. Would you be grateful that Frankenstein's creature was like, I'm gonna do you a solid, I got this one. I got your back, B.
I'm gonna say I actually was grateful because I don't like letting the wolf out.
Nice.
Sounds good to me. I love that because it also implies that you were not that much in danger. You had this under control. You just didn't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also both very, very, thank you for helping me. Oh, but I didn't really need you though. Just let you know.
Right.
Just letting you know I didn't really need you.
Yeah, like if I let the wolf handle this, it could have gone a lot. Like that might be too much, but yeah. Right. Thank you for. Yeah.
All right.
For
that's
that
one
assist.
down.
I think Rose thinks my mission is doomed to fail, or I must never be allowed to succeed.
What would you consider your mission to be?
To stop automatons from being created.
Oh, I feel like Rose is 100% there with you. Like automatons? That's not punk rock as any. That's terrible. That's anti-punk rock.
No,
Wally future.
Yeah.
Wally future.
Okay.
But I don't see my character being pessimistic. Like she is the soul of punk rock, which is all about revolution.
Got it. Then maybe your personality is the exact opposite of mine.
Oh yes.
And
I like that one.
If it makes it easier for my personality to shine, or for me to be myself, take a help. If it comes in conflict, take a hurt.
How do you see your character's personality?
Very stoic, very serious.
Yep.
About that, like, never resting, always like on the grind to like solve these little problems that might be breadcrumbs to.
Yeah, and my character is very much the big problems need to go.
Right. Okay, so I think that helps.
Also, definitely not stoic.
Yes, you are not stoic. And then,
you got one more for Leona.
Leona.
Yes.
Do you want to hold me back from expressing my mythos?
Ooh.
And if so, why?
How would you say you're expressing your mythos?
I get shot and I get up and I keep going. They keep trying to kill me. They keep trying to destroy me, and I keep coming back.
On the one hand, I support that. On the other, it's just like, okay, but if you keep doing that, then someone's gonna notice us, and like that's gonna be problems for us trying to solve all these problems in the dreaming. Like it's just like it feels too obvious to her. So she's like 50-50 on it. But yes, she could definitely be like, stop doing that. Like,
Okay.
stop getting shot.
Then I'm gonna definitely take a hurt.
All right, sounds good. We have a complicated relationship where it's just like yes, but also.
All right, and with that done, let's jump on to Leona. Leona, let's see what your 3 questions are gonna be.
Yes. Okay. I would like to ask. Does anyone think they've witnessed me expressing my mythos at full power? Does that feel like it fits someone?
I was thinking of picking that one.
Okay. Rose, your character has witnessed me expressing my mythos at full power. I'm talking flames. I'm talking poltergeist action.
Flames on the side of your face?
No, flames as in the environment is up in flames. Curtains on fire, pictures on fire, walls on fire. What did you think about it? Did it scare you, or did you appreciate it?
Appreciated it. Like destructive force. Yeah, no, it like scary, but like, forgive me if this is a little bit too much, but scare-roused.
She's very pretty, so
she's very pretty.
Fair.
Things are on fire. I think she's in love.
Yep. I love it. It's so gay. It's great. That is wonderful. Does anyone?
I was actually thinking about taking that same question.
It's such a
I don't
good
know if we
question.
wanted to avoid it or not.
Well, Joe also had the same question, so I think you're fine.
Everyone's like, I'm powerful. I love you. Okay.
It's a good question. Someone has aided me in my efforts, and earned my earnest gratitude and respect. I'm trying to figure out who has aided me in my efforts. But it's between Joe and Mo.
I'm happy to be very 80.
Okay.
But if you want something more complicated, I'm down for complicated.
Yeah.
That gets complicated.
The 2 questions that I have picked of the 3 are kind of both very helpful. Someone has aided me in my efforts, and someone accepts me the way I am, so they're both kind of cheerful.
Oh, I aid you.
You aid me? Okay.
Yes.
And then Joe, you've accepted me for who I am. You might even like my personality.
I like it.
Yay! Easy.
All right.
I'm like, I helped you, didn't I?
Yes. You did. But you should just stop getting shot.
And finally, Rose, do you have time to get yours done?
Yeah, so I have my questions picked out. Let me pull those up momentarily. Yeah, so let's see. So I also wanted one of them, once witnessed you expressing your mythos at full power, ask them what they thought about it. If it scared them, take a hurt point on them. If they appreciated it, take a help point on them. When you see the concert turn into a riot, what do you think? I'll open that up to anybody.
Can I take it? I think it'd be fun if I took it. I love it. I think it's fascinating.
Excellent.
Has everyone picked expression?
Yes.
Oh,
we got to make stuff go boom.
All right, I guess. Okay. I think everyone's picked expression. Joe, did you pick expression as well? Oh my god! So it's just Mo that has not picked. Only Mo's like, no, people, please.
Yeah.
Y'all chill.
Alrighty. And then for Bastion, I picked, you once protected something very dear to one of them, possibly even from them. If they were grateful, take a help point on them. If they were not, take a hurt point on them.
That could be me.
Did I maybe stop you from losing your cool once? Like you went full Terminator, unstoppable?
I don't think I lose my cool.
Okay.
But I am very single-minded, mission-driven, and There's a lot of course that could be corrected there.
Mm. Maybe it was you were on your, unstoppable force mentality, and I had to put myself between you and a thing to say you got to do it different.
Right.
Like I stood up to you when you were on, full goal oriented.
And
it's going to get done.
A better idea that I'm just not really trying to be creative enough to like I would have gone with that.
Okay.
It's unorthodox, but let's try it.
Okay. Okay. So if they were grateful, take a help point. So it sounds like grateful. Okay, sweet. And then my last one is relic. Once in a moment of crisis, one of them tried to borrow your relic. What happened next? If you didn't like that, take a hurt point on them. If you thought they did right by your relic, take a help point. Joe, you tried to use the axe. If that's all right. I was not okay with it. Like, it might be something where my character hasn't realized how much of a character flaw that is, that I'm incredibly attached to the axe. But like, my character is very much like community oriented, other people, solidarity. And then somebody tried to touch my musical instrument and I lost it.
So your relic is the
axe is a guitar.
Okay, but does it?
It is also an axe.
Become
the axe is an axe.
I'm just making a connection. So I probably at some level, at the mythos level, think of you as the woodsman.
Oh, I like it. I really like it.
We could play with that later, but yeah, that might be a fun thing to,
yeah, when our mythos start to collide. One of the other ones was there was one. Are we supposed to take from different trees, or could I do two questions from the same tree?
It has to be different trees.
Okay. There was another one where you're from my mythos and I think you're a threat.
Right.
But the other one from relic is you're from my mythos and you're who's supposed to have my relic. But I don't think that quite fits.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the idea of like, maybe you're like, oh, it's a weapon, I'll use it in a fight. And you did, and it worked, but I was not okay with it.
I think maybe like there's a part of me that's like, is this that axe?
I like it.
All right. It sounds to me like you all have some kind of idea of what your characters are like. You may not have the full basis down. Question is, does everyone have a name yet? All right, let's hear your names. Except for you, Rose, because you're probably still working on yours.
I think I've got one.
Oh, well, okay, see, everyone's got a name. Let's go. Let me get my notes up, because this is the most important part. Leona, what is your character's name?
My character's name is Priya.
Spell that for me.
Priya.
Gotcha. Mo.
Adam.
Joe.
Jacob Lee.
And finally, Rose.
My character, depending on which show you're at, is either Holly Hand Grenade or Holly Hellraiser.
2 L's?
Yep. Holly.
Gotcha.
I don't know what her actual last name is at her real world job.
We'll get to that when we get a chance.
Right.
Like, we're all doing character generation at the moment. It's going to take a while to really settle into that. So no pressure whatsoever. We're going to do a last bit now, which is a nice short part where he said, so you know how I've said this before, but in like Entourage style TV shows, the first time we see characters, they're not together, they're doing their own thing, and we establish like facts about them, like they have a family, they have a car, they don't like shoes, their mom is trying to kill them, the usual stuff. Like, you do all of that in in one scene and it's done, and then we cut away from it and move on somewhere else. So we're gonna do that for each and every single one of you. I'm gonna start asking questions and see what comes up. So even though I've started with them all game, I'm gonna start with Leona now. Leona, the camera is, we've had a title, Heaven on High. It's beautiful. We have a shot of the city, the mist are in the distance, that these big, tall, like almost like transmitter towers that are out there trying to transmit stuff wirelessly, but all of it's coming through as radio, and the radio is blaring. The sun is down, so you have a nice little glaze of neon lights coming from the city, spreading across its various districts. Leona, what do we see you doing in the first opening act? This has been the act that we have to know as much about you that the audience needs to know in this one scene. So what do you want it to be?
I think we see Priya. She is walking down a sidewalk. She's got like this like half-drunk coffee cup in her hand from a local cafe. I think she has been in auditions all day because she has been trying. She's trying to land a role in a movie, and she's kind of tired, but she is walking. I'm gonna say she's walking home for now.
All right. What kind of movies are you trying to be in?
Anything and everything. She's trying to get into musicals. She's trying to get into like action movies and fantasy movies, anything that she can. She's probably got like papers in her other hand, like coffee cup in one hand, papers in the other hand. She's probably like practicing like reciting dialogues or something, you know, like she's very much multitasking right now, but clearly not downtrodden by like her day. She's still going.
As a junior artist, do you have a speciality that you're very good at in movies when it comes to acting?
I think Priya is very good at monologues and dramatic, like she's very good at like those dramatic scenes where like the camera closes in on her face, you know? Very soulful moments.
And who is the person that gets all the roles in the city?
Ooh. There's someone else. I don't have a name just yet, but there's definitely another actress in town who seems to land all the roles. Like, I'm trying my darndest, but someone else always seems to just kind of like muscle their way in. And then she's like, it's not like I'm any less pretty or anything like that, but I don't know why.
Okay, fantastic. As you're getting home and sort of holding your papers, we need a situation that will bring out the shanty part of you. What would you like it to be?
I think the easiest sort of thing that brings out the shanty element in me is seeing I mean, it's evening, it's sunset, it's like she can see like a couple fighting across the road or something like that, and like the boyfriend's being very like rude to the girlfriend, and it seems like it's a very like misogynistic encounter, and she's definitely not about that life, you know, and that's very easily something that will set her flames of rage, you know.
Okay, so we have that moment where the boyfriend is arguing with the girl, and he's going through the home motions. We have this couple across the street who are arguing directly against each other. And although they're not shouting, it's very clearly she just wants to get out of there, and he is imposing on her. What do you do in that situation?
I think Priya is... I think she's going to just kind of like very angrily like kind of stride down the street and force her way in between the boy and the girl. And she's gonna physically force herself in between and be like, look, I don't know who you are, but clearly this girl wants to be left alone, so you should leave now.
They look at you and they're like, hey, this is none of your business. Also, what are you gonna do? You're gonna make me, little girl? Little girl?
yes, this is my business because this girl here is upset. And if you don't leave, I will make you.
Are you going to show him that you're going to make him?
Yeah,
Are you going to bring something out that might give that impression?
Yep. Go ahead.
I would normally get you to roll some dice, but your character isn't fully ready to roll it. But I'm going to give it a shot anyway. In this situation, I would say you are either trying to convince him to step away. Mm-hmm. So when you make rolls, you go to any of your tags that you think apply, and you tick them on the right.
Okay.
And once you've ticked all of them, they will come up to the power section at the top. And then I want you to go, after they all come up there so you can see how many they are, then I want you to click convince. And it will roll 2d6. And depending on what you roll, it will tell you what you get. Like that.
An 11.
Okay. I like to point out you brought out magical fire, terrifying, and poltergeist.
She's about to get very flamey.
To explain one second. Oh, Mo, could you move my microphone for 1 second for me? I'm a hero, I love you. Leona, explain what this looks like as you literally scare the pants off this poor person.
You see, as Priya is talking, like, this rage is on her face, and her face almost like supernaturally distorts. Like, she just looks not just angry, but like scary angry. And like whatever she was holding in her hands has disappeared by this point, like as she's probably dropped it, and her hands are just like, you can see flames in them, like she's about to like throw fire at this man. And it's probably that combined with like the street light above us like flickers a little bit in like the very like spooky poltergeisty kind of way.
Okay, when I said establish what your character is in the first scene, I didn't mean literally use all your powers in the first scene. But you know what? We're here anyway. So you're like,
whoopsies!
Runs, just legs it. And you know what? You didn't fail, but I still feel the lady behind you was like,
no, fair. She should be.
For those of you listening, they have a shocked look on their face, and that's all they have. They just stare at you like, and then we'll cut the scene off from there.
As they should. It's a bit much.
Let's just love you like, okay, so magical fire. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Well, she got angry. She was gonna fight.
Joe, this
yes,
I will establish your character to the audience. So we're gonna try to get as much of you as we can. What would you like it to be?
Yeah, we cut to kind of a small studio apartment somewhere in the city. We hear a beep, 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 beep. It is 5:30 a.m. We see a average-looking Asian man get out of bed, walks over to a closet, pulls out a shirt that looks like every other shirt that's hanging in that closet. He's buttoning up. We see a morning routine. He fixes himself up, gets dressed, has a breakfast. We see him open the fridge. There are packed containers labeled by the days of the week. It is Tuesday, so he takes out a container that says Tuesday, has his meal. Then we see him at a bus stop. He is getting ready to begin his workday. He gets onto a bus. It's crowded. It's kind of a muggy, rainy day. He steps into kind of a puddle. His shoes wet. His socks are wet. He kind of just brushes off and doesn't let it get under his skin. He gets onto the bus. People are jostling him. There are no seats. At the next stop, an elderly lady walks on. She's fumbling with her purse. She's having trouble. The bus driver's cranky, yelling at her. She's pulling up all these bills from her wallet and trying to pay and doesn't have change. So Jacob puts the correct amount of change into the machine, offers his seat to her. And then we see at the next stop a few young ne'er-do-wells board the bus. And there's kind of a close-up to Jacob's nose, and he's like sniffing. And there's been a change. There's a hormonal shift that happens when people have certain kinds of thoughts. And something bad might be happening to this grandma with these ne'er-do-wells. And so he sits right behind them. And do you have any questions for Jacob at this point?
I have tons.
Yeah.
We'll start from the top. Why would Jacob help this woman every time she's in danger?
She just feels like grandmas are some, I don't know, there's something about grandmas that I'm supposed to protect. I didn't protect once, and just doesn't feel right to let a grandma have bad things happen to a grandma, okay? Like, that's it. That's all.
Why would it be easier to make these youths disappear than just scare them?
If I make them disappear, they don't learn the lesson.
How are you going to teach them the lesson?
I wait until the grandma has her stop. And predictably, these youths follow, and I follow the youths. And it looks like they're about to make a move, and I'm just standing in front of them and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Look, do you guys know what time it is? I'm late for an appointment. I have no idea. I just ran out. It's been one of those mornings." And I'm like just kind of making polite conversation, but I'm slowly just drawing nearer and nearer and nearer, and the grandma's getting further and further away, and these youths are like, "Okay, fine, we'll deal with this guy then." And I just repeat the question. "So yeah, do you know what time it is?" And then suddenly my voice changes and it gets darker, and we see a long shadow protrude from where I'm standing, and the shadow creeps onto the wall behind me, and the shadow is that of a wolf, a giant wolf. And my voice suddenly just pitches way far down in a way that's not natural for me, the performer, to do. But it's just, "Because it's time for you to leave before you do something you can't walk away from."
Normally, that would be a convince, but I think you switch the entire area around. So I'm going to say instead, you are changing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Your change situation to no longer be them about to take advantage of a very mild-mannered man, but
Right.
them now in a situation where they cannot deal with and be ready. Go to other tags that you think apply amongst all your technically 5 themes.
Right.
Tick each one that you think applies, and then click change the game.
Okay.
Alrighty. So with that roll, that is, what's in the Civil Dark mode? A 9. So when you roll change the game, you get to pick one of these what's called choices here of your choice as to what you want to do. And you spend it 1 for 1. You had 4 power for that roll because you had 4 tags put in. So you have 4 juice to spend. What would you like to spend it on?
Oh, wow. Okay. I would like to give these youths a status, which is they're going to go rethink their lives.
Wow. Okay. That's a bit big. Do you want to pump all 4 in there? Be like, go. Because 4 is usually the limit a status can have.
Right.
Before you go over where you're knocked out of a scene. So
right.
that's like, oh, you know what? I might think of going to university, going to college.
Right. Right. Yeah, I want to do the whole, you don't want to sell me death sticks. Like,
all right. describe what happens as you wrap up the screen.
Yeah, I stand there and just everything shifts. Like there's this mild-mannered kind of dweeby guy suddenly has the presence of a much larger beast, something primordial, something that just radiates just the idea of fear, like, oh no, oh no. And we kind of see shaking, and there's these uncertain looks between them, and then they just, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Can we just go? Can we just go? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just can we just forget this? And then they just start turning around.
All right.
Jacob straightens his tie, and he's going to have to take the next bus, so he walks over to the bus stop again.
Just because it's cooler for the shore, the next bus doesn't stop because they look out the window and they don't see Jacob. They see the wolf, and they just drive right past you.
Yeah. I guess I'm walking today.
Speaking of walking, Mo, first scene, Frankenstein's creature, you're up. What would you like your big opening scene to be?
Adam is on top of on the rooftop of an industrial area building, and he is fishing a microphone down through a pipe vent, and he has the reel-to-reel over and the headphones on, and he's listening. Everything's working. This is a stakeout. When the security guards come.
Wait, the security guards are coming?
Yeah, they come out of the door and they see him.
Oh, excellent. They come out. Well, let's ask some questions. Who is your current target?
My current target is a company that is generating a lot of toxic waste, and that is on my list of suspicious things. So I'm getting more information.
In which case, your reputation precedes you.
Absolutely.
When the security guards open the door, they pause for a second, realizing it's you, and then they look at each other, get back to the door, and they lock it behind them before they both pull out batons.
Yep.
They start to approach, and they say, "We told you not to come around here. Now we're going to make sure you never do."
I kind of try to obscure the recording device, and so that when I start running, they chase me.
All right.
And the tape keeps running.
And it keeps rolling? I like it. So you're going to make a run for it? Okay. So although you're not technically fighting them directly, because you're making a run for it, I would say you are facing danger.
Yes, I'm absolutely trying to lead them on a chase.
Nice. Let's see how this works. So go to the skills that you want to use, the tags that you want to use, tick them all, and then click face danger.
Okay. So minor respected celeb and stopping Frankenstein formula.
That sounds good to me.
Now, where do I see this face danger? I'm sorry.
At the very top to the left, you see 8 buttons.
Top to the left, yeah. I see 5 buttons.
Do you see 5 buttons? Did you see 8 buttons? Or do you see 5 buttons? Hang on. There should be core moves / cinematic moves and then power at the top of above your theme books.
Your my character sheet.
Your character sheet, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, take those 2 that you wanted and then click face danger.
So one. I have to label all stuff properly. And So I click my attributes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I see character sheet. I don't have attributes and
It's
abilities.
your first die roll. Don't worry about it. This is just to establish the scenes and so I have an idea of where to go with things.
Yep. I don't see a face danger roll. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Okay, so this is nice and easy, nice and easy. So you know where you put all your theme stuff in the character sheet.
Yep. Oh, boom. Face danger.
Ah. Hey, see, told you got it.
I don't know what happened. I heard it right.
It wrote automatically for you. So you will take the so the status we're going to get for you was going to be what's called beat up. Okay. But in this case,
that's
you
goal.
Will actually that's the goal. That's you're trying to beat that goal. So describe how you get away, but you are winded and you are like trying to catch your breath at the end of it.
I think they actually tossed me off the roof.
Oh, you actually wanted to toss you off the roof? Yeah, that sounds. Oh, that'd be a great way to show your power as well. Okay, so we cut away from that, from them coming up and locking the door, and we have this moment where you are grabbed, and we see you like trying to like fight and protest, and the two of them just run up to, let's say, like a 5-story.
Yeah, right.
5-story roof,
right into the river,
and they literally just chucked you right into the river, and you go flying through the air, and you splash, and they look over. And they see no bubbles, anything coming up, nothing is being breathed over. Nope. And they look down and they sort of like grunt to themselves like evil security guards do, and they walk away. And how do you reveal that you're perfectly fine?
The next day in the paper, the story comes out.
Oh, okay. That also works. I was looking for something for the camera right now to see you coming out of the water perfectly fine. Just so we know that you're okay for the scene. Just for the camera, because the camera's like right there. But you can also do that. That's also perfectly fine too.
And I want to be arguing with my editor, who's obviously on the take.
Well, while soaking wet.
At least wearing a new suit.
That's fair. That's fair. So there you are. So we cut away from that, unless you argue with your editor as they're like trying to get the paper out, and you're still going with it. Why is your editor on the take?
Because there's a lot of money shutting me up.
Okay. I think that's enough for your side. So let's cut to last person, Rose.
Hello.
What would you like your scene to be?
Alrighty. So kind of in an echo of the beeping alarm clock from it was Jacob, right? Jacob's opening. Mm-hmm. There is a consistent beeping in the background as you see bed sheets pulled aside, car door slam, and key turn, car door slam, footsteps through a hallway, and then running through a hallway. Shots of a dolly, like or not a dolly, but a gurney, like the wheels spinning. And then you see a woman with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, surgical mask over her face. And you see just kind of a close-up of her face and then a spurt of blood just across the mask. And then car door, car keys, car door, spinning wheel, blood. Again, faster. Beeping gets faster. And then it turns into the screaming guitar intro to You by Bad Religion.
Okay.
Where it cuts, the spurt of blood goes from across a mask to across a bare face. Her hair is no longer in a ponytail. It is these blue and blonde Liberty spikes going down the back of her head, full on mohawk and spikes. And the lyrics of the song are, there's a place where everyone can be happy. It's the most beautiful place in the whole fucking world. It's made of candy canes and planes and bright red choo-choo trains and the meanest little boys and most innocent little girls. And the camera pulls back into a wall of amplifiers as she is on stage. She is underground. It looks like it might have been an abandoned parking lot at some point. And there are hundreds of people. And the song has just started to get going when suddenly there is a as power is cut and the amplifiers go dead. And you hear someone scream, "It's the cops, run." And she stops. She was like mid-strum on the guitar and takes it, flips it up over her shoulder, and starts walking like against the current through the crowd.
I like it. Two things. One, who are your band members?
Good question. I almost feel like the band members are part of her mythos.
Oh.
Like she walks on stage by herself, she starts playing, and the other players appear.
Okay. Hype. I like it. Second question. What kind of gigs do you do that have the cops turning up so much?
Literally all of them. She does not sell tickets. She goes to abandoned spaces. She finds somewhere she's not supposed to be and brings the music there. In fact, it may not even be the cops. It might be on the property of that same crooked, environmentally damaging company.
Okay. I like it. In fact, it happened that like literally could have a moment where like we have like Jacob like, where does the music come from? And the final question before we go to you essentially taking it to the cops. What was I gonna go for? Hang on. Why are you still a nurse?
Honestly, Holly asks herself that a lot. The repetition, the constant stress, the thankless work, and all the blood. And she's still trying to figure out why she still does it, but she does. She remembers when she first went to nursing school, and the goal was to help people. And she's still helping people, but things aren't getting better. Things only ever seem to get worse. And that's when the music found her.
Okay. So with that in mind, you are walking towards what looks like what's called 5-0 appearing to bust the joint. You've got your guitar in your hand. So we have this lovely little scene where you're going to basically literally stick it to the man at that point in time. Before we describe the scene, why don't you go toe to toe with your
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and tag Raise Hell. How many things can I tag?
For this session, as many as you want.
Okay. Raise Hell, Extreme Violence, The Young and the Angry.
Mm-hmm.
I think because she's doing it alone, I'm not going to be able to tag More Powerful, Together, and Stronger. Oh, I should rephrase those. Those are almost identical. But I will tag The Downtrodden, as she is there taking on the cops while everyone else gets away.
I actually will not give you that.
Okay.
Because although they are needing help, they aren't currently involved in the fight. It's just you and the cops.
Fair enough. I'll take 3. That'll work. And then it was go toe to toe.
Yep.
Alrighty. That is an 11.
So that is an 11. So you get to pick 2 things from that list. You can either manage to achieve your goal, aka stop the cops from getting to everyone. You can get them good, aka give them a status with 3 power, or you can block, dodge, or counter their best attempts. And you get to pick 2 from that list.
What's the last one do? The counter their attempts?
It means that you don't get injured. Basically, when you go toe to toe, you both get injured. Mm-hmm. But if you have that, it means you won't get injured. So it's a clean slate for you.
No, I didn't come into this fight to not get hit. I think I will go with the first 2. I will achieve my goals of letting everyone get away. And I am going to basically try to not only get through the cops, but then go put the axe through the hood of a cop car.
Sounds good. Just a heads up, the tier that they're gonna give to you, they want to give to you is arrested.
Ooh.
So you might want to think about dodging, blocking, and countering that.
You know what? We'll go with we'll counter it, because can't keep the music going if you're stuck in jail.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
It does get in the way. In fact, I think that's actually there's a moment where she goes, I don't care. And then she remembers that she can't keep her job if she goes to jail. And she remembers that, oh yeah, wait, I have a job. I am supposed to be taking care of people. And so she like, she was about to like rush into the next crowd of cops with the axe out, using the blunt side. She's not trying to kill people, but like there's that moment of, no, I should go further. And then she pulls herself back.
All right. Describe the fights and how you get away.
Basically, she kind of walks through the crowd as they're running past her. And first cop in riot gear, she just full on, like, he brings the baton up and she like takes the axe, ducks under it, hits him in the legs. He goes down, onto the next guy, onto the next guy, onto the next guy, until she is like at the front door, seeing more cops coming. And there's that urge that take it farther, do more, be worse. And then she remembers her patience, and she remembers that if she's not there, like, it gets worse for everyone else. And she puts the guitar on her back and she runs.
All right. I think that is enough to give the audience a good feel of everything else. So when we start the game next time, we will at least have somewhere to begin, and we know what everyone's zone is and everyone's mind is. But as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, we are done for today's session 0.
Woo!
Thank you very much for watching us go through session 0 of the City of Mist game, Heaven on High. I'd like to personally thank the mods for their hard work. And as always, thank you all to our amazing patrons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you that we are able to play the game to enjoy so much without worrying about sponsorships or subscribers. You can join our heroic ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. Everyone, we'll reintroduce ourselves, share media and announcements, starting backwards. Rose.
Hi, I'm Rose, unprepared, untrained, unstoppable. I am somewhere on the internet. You can find me on the Happy Jacks Discord at Roses Supposes. That is where I spend a lot of my free time. Yeah.
Mo.
Hey, I'm Mo Poplar. Some of you know me from my games I design. I'm working as a podcast editor these days. You can see some of my work at ashyfeet.com.
Joe.
Hey everybody, I'm Joe, and you can catch me sometimes here on Happy Jacks in the various campaigns that I'm allowed to crash and refuse to leave. You can also find me online at joekou.card, CARRD.co for my social stuff. That's it.
And finally, Leona.
Hello, I'm Leona. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. That is, for now, the best place to find me, follow me, and keep up with what on earth it is that I am doing. I appear on various streams and podcasts, and I am your resident DEI product specialist. I live and breathe making tabletop RPGs more inclusive and fun for everyone. So if you want to know more about that, find me on the internet, and I can tell you more about that.
So, everyone else, please feel free to join us the next time we play in 3 weeks. We'll be taking a week's break, and the week after that is Thanksgiving, so there's no way we're playing on that weekend. So join us on the 2nd of December for our next session. If you want to catch up on past episodes, when we finally make some, please visit happyjacks.org/Heaven on High. And if you want to find all of our other APs, please go to the Happy Jacks Network on happyjacks.org. My name is Lloyd. Thank you much for listening, and thank you so much for playing. And we'll see you all next time. Have a great day.
Did we get an outro for you though, Lloyd?
That was the outro. You're supposed to push the button now, right?
I was gonna say, but like, where can we find you on the internet?
It's too late. I've already gone to the thing. Push the button.